Yep, it's time to start drinking. You know, in Europe, they just it's always time to start drinking. So whenever I have a
Yeah,
beer at 3:30 in the afternoon, I just pretend that I'm in
European.
Italy or something. Did you know there was a study that there was a study that said that if drinking during pregnancy was a problem, then you would see higher rates of fetal alcohol syndrome in European babies, and you don't because
Hmm.
over there women are just advised to drink during pregnancy.
Um, yeah, that is interesting. Who conducted the study? The Association of Alcoholic Pregnant Women.
Yeah, they were like, hey, please leave us alone. We do not care.
If I cannot have my wife,
What?
I have nothing.
I have nothing. Yeah. Um, my husband cheats on me. It's the least that I can do. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the sit down. This is the regular episode. Real quick, if you want, I just want to get this plug out of the way. Support the show on Patreon if you can. $5 a month gets you a 20-minute show every single day. And we are back. It is Tuesday. Well, we're recording this on Tuesday, but it'll come out probably Wednesday. Tuesday, October 27th. I'm here talking to my brother, Steve. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for jumping in last minute. I've been doing these solo podcasts, and they're a fucking nightmare. But really, everything's kind of a nightmare right now. Things are bad. This might be, I'll say, this might be the worst month of the pandemic so far.
Really?
I think so.
Why do you think
Because
so?
it's not new and it's not summer. And I mean, just for me personally, I think it's the worst month. It's getting cold,
Okay.
and it's getting the whole thing. It's getting old. You can't really do anything. I haven't had a funny thought in a long time. And I don't know, things at home are fine, but I think it's just the reality is starting to set in. This is kind of like this is just what we do now. We're almost. Some restrictions have been lifted, but we're pretty much going to be living under lockdown for a very long time.
Yeah.
What the fuck
And
happened with the vaccine, by the way? Because there's this Instagram that I follow, and it's a guy who it's one of these guys who's into positivity, and he posted so he shares all these feel good. He'll share all these feel good articles, where it's like, wow, a 90-year-old woman got a job, got hired at Walmart yesterday. It's never too late. All these stories that are masquerading as feel good stories.
or like the John Krasinski stuff where he did the Good News Network
Yeah.
early on in the pandemic, and then he sold it to Paramount for $1 million. But go on.
It's so crazy that John Krasinski's on a show about the CIA, and he's really into the CIA. And he was in
I
some
think it's really
interview.
funny that John Krasinski's a star at all.
Yeah.
He had a great role on The Office. Good for him.
Yeah.
But then he decided to get jacked and try to be a leading man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he did
I
it.
don't.
But it's really funny that because he was in some interview and he was like, "Oh man, I really nerded when we got to the CIA. I nerded out so hard. I was so excited." And it's just really funny to think that someone's showing around being like, "Yeah, and this is where we have lunch."
And this is the room where we planned the overthrow of Allende.
Yeah. This is where we killed Princess Diana.
This is the room where it happened, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. That's a conspiracy that I'm kind of obsessed with because it's a pretty benevolent one, And
what do you mean?
Well, it's it just happened so long ago and it's pretty inconsequential, and it's the Queen probably did it, and there's just nothing really. It's not like she's ever gonna, be held accountable, and it's just kind of it's not it's pretty believable, and she's gonna be dead soon anyway. So it's not a big deal.
Wait, who's? Oh, the Queen's gonna be dead. Yeah. I mean, she has a lot of other stuff to atone for as well.
Right, exactly. And also it's kind of yeah, of course she killed Princess Diana.
Right.
She it's just every it's so out in the open. She had every reason to do it. She disrespected her.
and that like vilified the paparazzi. The paparazzi are villains now,
Yeah.
and they're just people working. I don't think that their
Yes and
flashes
no. I mean, it's a
distracted him
pretty
enough.
scummy. It's a pretty well,
Yeah,
well.
yes, it is. But to say that they were the reason she died,
Uh huh.
eh, eh, it's
Well, there were
not as like easy as that. Like, why doesn't the security footage show it?
well
Oh, oh
MI6.
yeah, there is none.
There is none, but MI6 has. They said that they were able to. They had the technology to have these like high powered flashes that could blind a driver or something. So they had the capacity to do that. And they thought
Oh,
about
and you're saying
killing.
that they use like the cover of paparazzi flashes to cover for that?
Yeah, yeah. That whole thing is like there's a lot of questions that should be answered, and also it's like I don't think the queen liked that she was dating an Egyptian Muslim, and she might have been pregnant with his kid.
Hmm. But would that have been such a scandal? Because they were divorced then, right?
Yeah, but that was another thing that was like really frowned upon.
Right.
She was like the modern. She was kind of like the first modern princess who spoke candidly about stuff. She talked about her depression and her divorce, and she was like, Prince Charles couldn't stop getting his penis wet from. Yes, he sure did love whores. Not as much as his brother, who's a pedophile. Not as much as his brother, who's best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. But it's funny to think about because you hear these names all the time. You hear names like Queen Elizabeth, Ghislaine Maxwell. I heard a story about how like when Ghislaine Maxwell was being interrogated, she like knocked the attorney's laptop off the table
Wait, why?
because she just got upset with the questioning that she was receiving, and she thought she was being treated unfairly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's being treated. Yeah, it's there are people who just think they're not part of the world. They're not subject to the same rules as us.
Yeah. What?
For some because they what? Because they provided girls to the most powerful people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. Alan Dershowitz was like, if you ever get any legal trouble, just call. Here's my card. Just call me. And she was like, where is he now? Damn it. I helped you. Speaking of, so today's not going to be a very research heavy episode. I didn't have time to research anything. I did have some stuff I wanted to talk about, but I woke up this morning and Deb told me that she saw 2 mice in the apartment. And then I went into the kitchen and we have a kitchen island that's maybe like 4 feet off the ground.
Uh-huh.
And there were mouse droppings like all over it, which I didn't see last night.
Oh shit.
There's also we have a little shelf in our kitchen, like a standing bookshelf that we keep our stuff on. There's droppings on every shelf of that, even the highest one up, which is like about
And this all happened in one night?
5 feet. I think
Did
so.
this all
Yes.
happen in one?
I think
Okay.
overnight they had like a party over here. We just got like
It was like a regular ratatouille.
we got bombarded. It was like a regular ratatouille. Yeah.
But what they don't tell you is when those rats are cooking in the kitchen, they're shitting everywhere while they're cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Movies. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to deal with it? Are you getting traps? Humane traps?
No, we're not getting. I'm not getting humane traps. First of all, I live in Bushwick, so
and
they
they're
don't sell any.
not humane. They're not humane at all.
They're not.
Well, all right. So if you catch one in the glue and it's just sitting there like screaming and whimpering, what do you do with it after? What are you supposed to do with it after that?
I think
do you
the best
try
thing
to peel it off the glue and let it
No,
back into the
come on.
wild?
Yeah, you let
Or
it.
do you
just
put it
in
face
the
down
woods.
and just take like a full heavy garbage can and just smash it?
You put it in the woods and you let it chew its own arms off, and you just let it. That's the most humane thing to do. You let it chew all its limbs off, and then. No, what you do is you put it out on the street, and then you let a cat try to eat it, and that gets stuck to the glue trap, and then a dog goes and tries to catch the cat, and then that gets stuck to the glue trap, and then you just have like a train, and then
and then a mailman.
A mailman, yeah, and then you just have a train of people stuck to a glue trap. No, you're supposed to you're
Like,
I
what did the
think
directions say?
nothing.
Right.
They just say you're on your own after you catch this thing. Good luck. And it's weird because some people just like throw it in the garbage, which I guess it suffocates if you do that. But then, because I heard if you put like 3 plastic bags together and you tie, like that'll suffocate it in like 30 seconds. It's weird. It's funny that we don't know this.
Right.
I wish there was some. I don't know. And also, I mean, the glue traps are kind of effective.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
think.
mice are getting smarter. They know those cheese traps are
Right.
they're a death sentence. Yeah.
Well, it's just weird because the guy at the hardware store told me that mice they know what death smells like. They can smell death. We don't know
Whoa.
what death smells like. I mean, maybe if
Did you go to a hipster? some hipster at the hardware store.
Yeah, it was a witch. Yeah, so he was like, mice can smell death. So if they smell a dead mouse mixed with the kind of bait that you're using, they'll associate that with death, and they won't go near it. So he was like, you have to switch up your bait. So he was like, use like bacon or salami. Which
you got to give them good stuff.
Yeah,
you got to like. Now sometimes they like a hard salami. Yeah. That's the key here.
Yeah, the best is make sure it's imported from the Toscana region of Italy. Yeah, they like a nice ribeye that's medium rare.
Right.
I'm just frying up a steak. You know, no, it's not for you. It's for the things I'm trying to kill. It's just so shitty because like, and also like we had this shelf and there's like stains that are sort of like that looks like liquid that drip down the back of the shelf. So I'm like, this has to be mouse. I don't know what else this could be besides mouse urine. So they're like jumping, they're getting up like 5 feet into the air. And this all happened last night because we had like a little bit of a mouse problem before, but I thought I took care of it. Because you get steel wool and you get the spray foam and you cover up, and so you block any entry hole. So I don't know where they're getting in, but then also I'm like, do I want to block the entry holes? Because I think that I also want to catch one. I want to catch one and watch it suffer.
Oh, and then send a message to all those little mice friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they say it's inhumane. And then the other thing too is like there's you have to clean, like we have this blender, and there's like cups for the blender, and I found like one dropping in each little blender cup.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I don't know. These are like super mice or something. These are like the X-Men. It's like the fucking X-Men of mice. It's Wolverine and Jean Grey and fucking Cyclops, and they're just like, yeah, they have superpowers.
Well, how much longer are you going to be in this place?
I don't know. I think we're trying to leave as soon as possible. But Deborah put in an offer for an apartment that they rejected. But she asked for like 2 months free rent, and then she asked them to come down like, $150 in rent. But I don't know. But nobody's rented that apartment.
Huh.
But I don't fucking know. I mean, we're already paying a lot of money for this place. But it's just like, it sucks because it takes your entire day.
Oh yeah, that's why they have professionals for this type of thing.
But then what do professionals do? They just kind of put poison in the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You should ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's someone out there who listens to your podcast.
No, I did. Somebody messaged me on Instagram. Shout out to
oh, nice.
This guy. Yeah.
And what'd he say?
He said,
this wasn't the hipster at the hardware store?
At the hardware store, no.
Okay.
He's a Spanish guy, but this guy said, you want to stick the trigger side of the traps against the wall, and the glue boards work best against long, straight stretches of walls. When they're running full speed, they'll hit them. Otherwise, they can detect and avoid them. I use peanut butter almost entirely for mice. I've never heard the associate with death thing. I've used peanut butter for the past couple traps that I've had, and I haven't caught a single mouse in here. In fact, I've removed mice from traps and just reset the trap because the smell from the dead mouse will attract a new one. I've been doing pest control for like a decade in Massachusetts. He said, I just rewatched Yeah, the hardware store guy is a retard. Okay, that's how you know you're dealing with a good exterminator. Because this guy is just some Massachusetts, just some Massachusetts like shithead who knows about killing mice, and he knows how to like kill mice and shoot pool.
Yeah,
And it's
and he
people
can't
like
go
that.
play pool.
It's people like that make the world go around, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, but my point is that, like, there are professionals that deal with this. So when you're just trying to take care of it yourself, and it seems like it's an infestation, if
Yeah.
it's, the amount of droppings you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you got to go to war.
You have to. It has to be all out war with these fucking things, and they're really cute, but I don't know how to reconcile.
Yeah, and they're
with
living
that.
things, and they deserve to live as much as anything else. But what are you going to do when anyone who is against that has never had to deal with mice?
Yeah.
Because when you hear a mouse get stuck in a glue trap and it's
Uh-huh.
just screaming
Yeah.
and trying to claw its way out, it's not great. It's not a great feeling. I don't know what's so humane about it.
Well, the other day I woke up at like 4 a.m. and Deb was like, "There's something in the kitchen," and I just hear like this squeaking, and I just hear like, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like a mouse got stuck on a glue trap, and I opened the cabinets where I have the glue traps, and there's nothing in there, and then all of a sudden the screaming just like stopped. So I think because it got really, really intense, and then it stopped. And I think that's what happens when somebody gets poisoned. It's not like a video game when you poison somebody, they just like pass out.
Yeah.
I think when you get poisoned in real life, it's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah, your insides are just being dissolved.
Yeah,
and
your
organs
kidneys
are melting.
Your organs are melting. Your kidneys fail. Your heart starts like racing, and you're like, "What's happening to me?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not want to get poisoned.
No. Well, what's a violent poisoned.
What's a violent death that you would be okay with?
A violent death that I'd be okay with.
Yeah, like a firing squad, maybe.
Yeah, or like a piano falling on my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
And that's quick.
Yeah.
It's over with.
I hope it's quick. That's the thing with some of these violent deaths. Like, do you feel any pain? You must feel a little something. I don't know.
For a split second?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think like the terrifying part of all these gruesome deaths, to me, the most terrifying thing is that you don't see them coming.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want. Like, if
that's
it's gonna
kind
be
of a
gruesome,
good way to die. Yeah.
I don't want to see it coming.
Yeah. Well, it's
like I was just watching this thing on Investigation Discovery, the murder porn channel.
Uh-huh.
And oh wait, sorry, I cut out there a second.
No, go ahead.
Oh shit, hold on. I thought I just heard knocking.
Oh,
sorry. What? Can we start again? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's right here. Where were we?
Investigation Discovery.
Yeah, but before that,
you said it was about dying violent. We were talking about dying violently.
I'm sorry. Oh my, I got thrown. Sorry. Can I go grab this package real quick? Because that's what that is. I keep hearing knocking.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was watching Investigation Discovery and the thing about gruesome deaths, and like, when you hear about the guy who's like just sleeping on the couch and his wife gently puts a pillow over his head and shoots him, like that's how I would want to go.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping.
Your
I don't
your
see
wife
it
to
coming.
kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but my point is the gruesome death I'd want to get, whatever it is. Like, I just don't want to see it. Like,
yeah,
if you're driving behind in Final Destination, you're driving behind one of those
log trucks,
and one just falls off and fucking impales you. Like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You just see this thing sliding toward you. You can't do anything about it.
I always think like, if I'm gonna die suddenly, I hope it's just like, oh shit, because I was thinking like, because I would never do this, but Well, we were in the Cape this weekend, me and my brother and my sister, and I came out of the bathroom and our sister like jumped out and scared me and she thought that was really funny. And I'm sure it was really funny for her. But I was trying to think like if if I ever like wanted if I was ever on the phone and I wanted to convince someone if I was on the phone with Andrea like driving and I wanted her to think that I was killed in a car accident, I'd probably just be like, "Oh shit," and then I would hang up the phone because that's probably how it's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, "Oh fuck." Like if you die suddenly, it's not gonna be hopefully you're not gonna die like in terror, you know?
Right.
But you'll be like you know, I don't know. You'll blurt out
That
like
you
a
don't
racial
see it coming.
Yeah, you'll blurt out like a racial slur or something. You'll have one moment
Or
where
that, like,
you have
or
a moment where you go, "Oh
or,
fuck, I'm gonna die."
or that you don't shit your pants until you're dead.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're like if
Right.
you have enough time to shit your pants before you die.
Right.
It's
Or
an
imagine you're
undignified way to go.
shitting your pants while you're dying, and you go, "Oh no!" Your last thought is, "Oh no, I shit my pants," and you just thinking back to the last time that you ever shit your pants. You're just like, "Oh man, it's been 25 years."
I had a good run.
Yeah. Well, the streak's over. Yeah. Very well.
How do we get on the subject of how you want to die?
Well, because this is kind of relevant though, because I feel like you think like sometimes if I want to like really depress myself, I think about like COVID deaths, and I just think about like people who it starts off with a cough. Someone starts coughing and they go, "Fuck, I think I'm sick," and because how many times have you scared yourself into thinking that you have COVID?
Oh, probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Because you're coughing or your throat feels funny or something.
Yeah,
But
because
it's like,
the symptom list is so long that
yeah,
any little thing could make
Yeah.
you think you have COVID. But yeah, go on.
yeah. And then but anybody who died like started off that exact same way. And then people, they get COVID and then they have COVID and they're like, "Oh shit, I feel like shit." Like people that I've talked to who have had COVID were like, "I thought I was going to die. Like I felt horrible. I thought I was going to die."
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's people who did die. So that fucking sucks to be nauseous. You to feel sick, and then what happens? You just go. I mean, that's fucking terrifying.
Well, it's different for different patients because, like, some
Uh-huh.
of them would go in and they'd be on ventilators and they get better, and then 2
Uh-huh.
days later they drop dead.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's different for everybody, but yeah, like for some people, it starts out so benign,
Mm-hmm.
and that it turns into death. And most of us are conditioned to just be like, well, it's probably nothing. Like I can't. I'm
Right.
not gonna go pay $40 for the doctor to tell me it's a cold.
Right. Right.
And then it turns into you don't end up going until you have to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the other thing. I keep seeing all these people on Facebook. It's all the people from Jersey and high school and shit.
Uh-huh.
But all these people that are just like mocking
Yeah.
this pandemic and people's reactions to it. They're just mocking it
I know.
openly. It's
And
not
you know
a big
what?
deal.
I kind of get it because it's kind of human nature to do that. Like it's kind of human nature to like self-preservation is, So I sort of
Right. Well,
understand it.
if you see all this like crazy shit happening in New York back in March, and you're in the middle of bumfuck Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
of course you're gonna be like, it's overblown, it's bullshit.
Yeah. I just see people constantly being like, "Oh yeah, but it's the only people who are dying have pre-existing conditions," as if that's some like,
As if
okay,
that's
fine,
okay.
as if that's okay. Yeah.
They were gonna die anyway.
They
These
were gonna
people
die
that are
anyway.
dying, they're old. They were gonna die anyway, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know what? We have been treating old people like shit.
Mhm.
We just put them out to pasture and don't think about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course they're gonna be like, oh, the majority of deaths are old people. Screw it.
Right. It's almost like when you watch Midsommar, it's like better that they do that to their old people than what we do.
Yeah, right.
Just okay.
I
You're
mean, yeah,
72. You
like
jump off
those
a
people
fucking
are,
bridge. You
but those
jump
people
off
are
a
like
fucking cliff.
going with like they're going with their dignity.
In a way, yeah.
I mean, like in their fucked up
With their
head,
dignity and
you
without
know.
their face. They did that in the Giver too, right? I mean, that's not like an original idea because didn't they have like a thing where in the book The Giver? I don't.
I don't. They all kind of blend together.
Yeah.
But what, like when people get older, they're just put out?
Yeah.
Because that was like Logan's Run too.
Was it?
Yeah, after a certain age, you're just like eliminated.
I mean, when you talk to our grandmother, it's like not a bad idea. You're just like, how much longer are you gonna fucking hang on? How much longer are you gonna hang on and just spew hatred about everything? Fucking vote. Go away. I feel that way with Oliver too, my 14-year-old Yorkie, because I now like I'm cleaning up. I'm cleaning up my kitchen area, but it's like, and I like go near the floor and I just smell like my rug just smells like piss. So there's just like in my entire apartment, I'll just breathe in certain areas and I just smell piss.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like it's part of the deal, I guess. Like,
I hate dogs. I'm a Muslim now. I'm gonna convert to Islam and never talk to my dogs.
Muslims don't
again.
hate dogs.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
I heard they don't like dogs.
Oh, all of them?
I heard that it's like kind of like a cultural thing where they don't really have dogs.
I don't know.
I think it's either Muslims or Hindus, but I'm pretty sure it's. I should probably fact check that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like something that one of my friends said, and I didn't bother to.
Oh, your
Look it
friend,
up.
the anthropologist?
Yeah. No. My friend Joey.
Down at the hardware store.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah. But no, I like this is like all I've done today is just wipe every item in my house with like bleach because there's fucking mouse shit everywhere. I mean, every once in a while it'll happen, but it'll be kind of like contained. It'll be in a cabinet or in a drawer or something where you find. But this is the first time it was like all over the fucking house because I think it's getting cold now, so they're trying to find shelter.
Right, and all it takes is like not vacuuming the kitchen for a week for them to start showing up. Like it's New York City that they're gonna find the food.
Yeah,
but even if you keep your kitchen clean, like clean it every night, there's still the chance of it. So
yeah,
just hope you don't deal with it as frequently as you are.
Mm-hmm. I tried to fucking vote today. There was a
oh yeah,
they have early voting. Yeah, so I was like, so I cleaned the kitchen for like an hour, and then I went out, and then I came home and Deb was cleaning it, and then I went over to the I biked down to the polling place, and it was like the line was like wrapped around the block.
Yeah,
and,
everyone's waiting like a couple hours.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So what's it going to be like on election day?
I don't know. I
mean, thank
guess
God they have early voting.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. I mean, it's so fucked up. The whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if he wasn't trying to actively undermine the post office, so absentee ballots couldn't get in on time.
Yeah.
It's just no one should have to wait in line for more than 2 hours to vote. More than an hour.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we haven't digitized this yet somehow.
Right. Or you can vote online or something.
Yeah. Or, again, it's like, well, this is the safest method. Like, the idea of, like, American ingenuity and figuring out what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
That's been dead for I don't know how long. But,
I know.
My God.
It just makes you
that's
think
just
about,
the way
like,
it is. It's just, like, people are just like, well, in a city of 8 million people, of course you're going to wait. Like, no, you build a system that can handle it.
Dude, there was nothing better than like getting to go to my mommy's house for like voting or to go to the DMV. Anytime I had to deal with any kind of government stuff, just getting in the car or getting on the train and going an hour south to like renew my license or whatever. It was
Yeah.
I miss it so much. I might go back. I'm still waiting on my fucking driver's license to show up because they sent me the driver's license and it never showed up, so I had them send it to mom's house. And if it doesn't get there, I mean, I need my license because my interim license is about to expire on November 2nd. If I have to wait twice to get a if I don't get a driver's license twice, I'm just gonna get a Jersey license again. It's dealing with New York City or New York State government is like a fucking nightmare.
Well, yes,
I miss
but also
Jersey so much.
but right now we're in the height of a pandemic as well. So
Yeah.
the postal service is scrambling just to prioritize ballots.
Mm-hmm.
So much stuff is getting fucked up
Yeah.
and lost.
Yeah.
So I would ask that you try to cut them some slack, even though they don't deserve it. Maybe
Mhm.
you can get it. Like, is there a way to contact them and wait on the phone for another 2 hours that they could send you another interim one until the regular one comes?
Well, they did. So the regular one is in the mail. It's on its way to mom's house. But I don't know.
Yeah. I remember the few times I voted back in Hamilton when I was registered in Jersey. It was just easier going to the elementary school.
easy.
It wasn't that crowded. There were
Yeah.
less people. Like,
Yeah.
it is
was a fucking
relatively easy
dream.
for most people to
Right.
vote.
Right.
Relatively.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like there's more. Yeah. I don't.
But again,
know.
like, and we're not even talking about the concentrated effort from Republicans to get people off the ballots or try to get them off voter rolls or not even allowed to vote or making it hard for them to vote. Like, it's been, there's so many cases of it, but like the one in North Carolina where they found they were blatantly discriminating against black people and minorities and purging them off the voter rolls.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't that be an alarm bell for everyone? Like, anyone that's trying to curtail people's right to vote.
Yeah.
Why is that something we all can't agree on?
Yeah,
is it because they'll lose?
Yeah, why?
Because they'll fucking lose.
It's just a weird thing though, because you think about like these people in power, and you think about how like, okay, yeah, they have to like play dirty to stay in power because they are a sort of like, in terms of numbers, they are a minority. But it's this weird thing where it's like, you look at these people who are in power, and it's like, okay, to stay in power, you have to undermine the election, you have to suppress voters, you have to fuck up the post office. You have to do so much damage to so many people's lives, so that you can go to fucking Montauk or something, like, or so that you can.
Well, I think at this point, like, they also know what they're up against. That they could, more likely than not, they could lose the Senate and lose control of all three, sections of government. You could fundamentally change what the government looks like if you have all three in power. So I think the Republicans are like, if we do lose control, at least let's get the Supreme Court weighted toward us. So they're so nihilistic about everything.
Yeah,
it's like, let's do this one last thing that we like promised to do for 30, 40 odd years. And they did it, and they feel accomplished.
But just in terms of like imagine that you're like a super rich guy. Imagine that you're worth like, I don't know, maybe like $40 million or something. Maybe
that's not rich.
No, okay, so yeah, but it's relatively rich where you vote in your interest. You vote in the interest of like wealthy people, right? So imagine, and maybe you don't even live in the United States. Maybe you live in like Brazil or something, and you live in Brazil, and you live in a nice neighborhood, and you have like a nice house, and you have a pool.
Sounds pretty cool. All right,
and you're able to send your kids to go study at UCB. Or
sounds good.
But doesn't it bother you though that like to have that you have to keep your foot on the necks of poor people, and that they're all like starving and killing each other for you to have your lifestyle?
See, here's the thing, like,
doesn't that bug people?
They don't even have to put their foot on our fucking necks. Like, that's the other thing. Like, if someone who has $40 million, the next day the IRS took half of it, and they're left with 20 million.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for that person. Like, whatever it did to change your lifestyle, I don't
Yeah.
fucking care, because as
Yeah.
long as there are people that are still homeless and don't have health care,
Yeah.
and people aren't paid decent wages, I don't fucking care about, people who have seven figures or more,
Yeah.
or like high six figures. I don't care. I don't care what your
It's just
taxes are going to be
weird.
like.
It's just weird to think like, okay, yeah, cool. Like I have three houses, and I have a couple cars, but like it kind of like it bothers me to think that there's so many people suffering right now, you know,
Yep.
and the pandemic has exacerbated it.
Yep.
So doesn't it bother? You would think that it would bother those people too, even people who are somewhat well off. You would think that they would want to do something about all the suffering that's going on right now.
No, because they've been programmed to believe that, like, that it's up to the individual. They were born into, most likely, if you're wealthy today, that you were born into wealth.
Uh-huh.
So the idea that, like, they should have this level of sympathy and consideration for
Mhm.
others,
Mhm.
I don't believe it. Like, I believe that people are good at heart,
Mhm.
but the longer you live with no connection to the majority of the rest of the people, or you
Mhm.
can't even understand what the current system is doing to people, and
Mhm.
you don't feel any of it,
Yeah.
they're just conditioned that way. Like, I I don't believe, like, if they do feel bad,
Uh-huh.
what good does that do? Does it give you hope that, like, oh, maybe people will be more open to change? Because it's to the point where, like you said, their feet are on our necks, and they've been there a long time. So when they let up even just a little bit, we're gonna fucking get up and hit them in the face.
Mhm.
And that's
Right, so
what,
they have to
like,
keep it there?
yeah. So no matter what they feel,
Yeah. Cuz it
I
just feels
think
like
we're I think we're I
when you see somebody
no,
like
go on.
Kushner go on TV and be like, "Oh, like Black Lives Matter." A lot of people when George Floyd was killed, they were just virtue signaling. And like to see him say some of the stuff
Fucking robot.
that he says, yeah, it's just like it's just weird. It's
Emotions are signs of weaknesses to them. Like,
uh-huh.
emotions do not exist. Emotions only hinder your ability to make money and do well for yourself. That's
Mhm.
what, like, the impression I get from them.
Yeah.
Like, when you say, "What about them? Don't you care about them?" It's like, that's weakness.
But it's weird because it's such an empty fucking existence to have. Like when you have when all your worth and all you really have is your money. It just seems like it just seems like a very miserable existence. Like something is
Yeah.
when you make that your goal in life, it just seems like something would be missing from your
Yeah,
life.
I just think they have enough money to distract themselves from ever exploring those emotions.
Mhm.
Like, if they, those same people you're talking, that imaginary person that has $40 million, and they're pretty well set,
Mhm.
like, they're not going to want to give up anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they're not thinking about anyone else. They have enough money to distract themselves with anything.
Yeah. It's also a
That's the
weird thing
point.
too
Like,
because what?
there's no consequences to their actions.
Yeah.
There's not, there's nothing. I don't begrudge people who are doing well. I don't. What I do begrudge are people that don't want anyone else to have any.
Mhm.
Like that they don't acknowledge that not everyone is them.
Mhm.
But yeah, the idea that these people feel bad about what's happening right now,
Yeah.
I don't know, because if they're watching Fox News, nothing bad is happening right now.
Right. I know, but don't you? I just feel like no matter how wealthy you are, you probably feel like wow. I would think that you feel like wow. There's a lot of suffering in the world, and that is like depressing and can weigh you down. But maybe it doesn't for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm sure I mean, like, Abigail Disney is one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney's niece. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's pretty vocal about how disgusting Disney is with their executive pay,
Mm-hmm.
and how much they pay their workers and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. I just think that, like,
How much they spent on Mulan?
when you're that well, what's that?
How much they spent on Mulan?
Yeah, and shot it in the Uyghur uh, around the Uyghur camps.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you didn't hear that big to do about like they found out that during production they shot in and around or like near a Uyghur camp, and they basically like just kind of turned the other cheek, like knowing about that and filming there.
Yeah, it's funny that word made a comeback.
Which one?
Uyghur.
Well, you know, it's.
I thought we weren't allowed to say it anymore.
There's a genocide happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's maddening. Like, I mean, like that's the.
I know, it's like everything.
The terror of Trump, that like he just takes up all the oxygen in the room. That we're not even talking about the fact that he condoned Xi Jinping doing this.
Yeah.
Like he flat out like told Donald what he was doing. He's like, yeah, okay, if we get that trade deal. Like, I want to talk about people who you know, are sympathetic to China.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about that secret bank account Trump has, right?
Yeah.
You know, that shit, again, is like when people say he loves America, it's like he's paid more in taxes to foreign governments than the U.S. You think he fucking loves America?
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, everything's bad in the world right now, and my house smells like piss.
Yeah.
It's just everything.
Ain't that
at
the
once.
truth? Hey, that's the motto for America right now. Our house smells like piss.
Well, it also sucks because Oliver's about to be 14, and it's just like I don't know when I think he's just walking all over the house, peeing everywhere, and I'm not catching it, and so he's just it's just like that gets you to a point where you're like, all right, how much longer are you gonna be alive?
Well, wasn't he like peeing on pads and stuff?
No.
Is he just old and senile
Maybe
now?
we
That he's
should
just
get
peeing.
pads. I think he's just peeing everywhere, all around the house, and it's just like
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like you're fucking 14 years old. How much longer? Like, why is God punishing me? That's another thing.
No, he's not punishing you. He's testing you. God's testing you.
Well, that's the other thing too. I feel like the older I get, there's no way that everything that's happening to us is like part of God's plan. Even when you look at like racial issues, there's no way that like I think that God maybe had a plan for this world, and then people's skin color looked different, and then he's like, oh, whoops. You know, like no God who made the world could ever let stuff get that bad where Whitey is just going into Africa and killing and enslaving people, and then bringing them over here, and then giving them separate water fountains, and then blaming them for like not being successful.
Right.
There's no way that was if that was a plan, if that was God's plan. You see things every day where you're like, if you plan this, you're sick. You're a sick fuck.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit, sick fuck.
And if this is part of a plan,
you're a fucking pervert.
Fuck that plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you jump in and, do something?
It's part of God's plan.
It feels like the best he did was give Trump COVID.
Trump brought COVID on himself.
Yeah.
God doesn't.
I know.
I don't think God interferes at all. Like he just led the human race. I feel stupid even talking about this because there is no God.
Yeah.
It's so hard for us to believe that we're just here by luck.
Yeah. I know. It's very weird to think about.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about God's plan. God's plan sucks.
It sucks.
I'd rather talk about a simple plan, and I fucking hate a simple plan.
Yeah. Yeah. They weren't very good. They were very whiny.
Yeah.
They might have been the worst band from that era.
Oh, you think? Actually, yeah. Because, at least, what was it, Yellow Card?
Uh-huh.
At least they made the electric violin cool.
At least Yellow Card had, there's songs that you remember. Well, the only song that I remember is Ocean Avenue.
Yeah, same.
But at least, that song's like kind of catchy and whatever. Fun.
Yeah, Simple Plan. They're just whiny.
They're so whiny.
Oh, they're Canadian. I didn't know they're Canadian.
Yeah, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? I don't trust Canadians. Do you?
Oh, I trust Canadians.
Well, I know
You're gonna say I'm biased
your
because Pat's
father-in-law,
Canadian.
is Canadian, but I don't
Canadians
know.
are you don't trust them?
A lot of the art that's been
They're
made.
just fine people.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald is good, I guess. There's something about Canadian culture where it's like too polite, you know?
Yeah, but is it much different than the Midwestern veneer
Well,
of
Midwesterners are
politeness?
secretly full of rage,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's true.
They're not really nice.
A lot of like suppressed emotions and
Yeah. The
yeah.
South is way nicer than the South is more genuine too, I think, than the Midwest. Because the South is like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're the South, you know. They're like Germans a little bit. Where they're like, yeah, we fucked up. Sorry about that. But the Midwest thinks that you owe them respect. You know, the Midwest they think that they think they're kind of owed something. And they don't want to face the fact.
I just think they think that they're like the real America.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, in terms of like obesity,
yeah.
then yeah, you are the real America.
Right, but it's like what are you really bringing to the table?
The Great Lakes.
Yeah. The Great Lakes.
And that's it.
Cheese in a bowl.
Cheese curds.
You ever go to cheese curds are really fried cheese curds are excellent though.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, let me ask you this: if you had to rank the top 3 Midwestern states, because I think the bottom 2 would probably be like Indiana and maybe Iowa, maybe just because they think that they're like special. But I think top 3 are Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin.
Say that again. Minnesota.
I would go Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, because Minnesota is just a pretty solid state.
Yeah.
And then Wisconsin has Eau Claire, Milwaukee, and Madison. Madison's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Michigan's got Ann Arbor and Detroit.
Detroit is cool.
Yeah.
I feel
like
I feel
Detroit.
at home there because it's everything's fucked. Everything's sad.
All right, and then after Michigan,
well, I guess Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, I think that's right. Because Illinois, except for
Ohio
Chicago,
sucks, but Ohio has some bright spots.
Well, Ohio is kind of like Wisconsin in that there's like a handful of cool cities.
Mm-hmm. But
you
there's
know,
some
like
cool parts of like Columbus. There's some cool parts of like even Cincinnati is like kind of cool. I mean, they do have you ever been to Skyline Chili?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
It's really fun. It's really funny that they're like, "This is welcome to Cincinnati. We got Skyline Chili," and they take you, and it's like spaghetti with like diarrhea on top of it. I mean, their chili looks like diarrhea, and then they put like a 2 handfuls of cheese on top of it, and they go, "It's welcome to Cincinnati," and you go, "You guys are fucking sick. This is dangerous."
But there's some good parts of it. But yeah, I guess like all right, after those 3, then Ohio's
I was watching a
4.
documentary about Skyline Chili, and they were interviewing this franchise owner, and he was like, "Yeah, they won't even tell me what's in chili. They don't even because they said one person knows half the recipe and the other person knows the other half. It's like, so who's making the fucking chili? It's just getting shipped to your dump of a restaurant in bags. You sick you freak. And then you're serving that to families. People are feeding that to their kids. Spaghetti and chili.
Yeah, it's their delicacy.
No, thank you.
Hey, to each their own.
Cincinnati's kind of cool though. Their airport's in Kentucky.
No, really?
Yeah, you got to go over the bridge to Kentucky. That's the only time I've ever been to Kentucky. Yeah, and then Cleveland is kind of like, Cleveland. It's like it has that reputation, but it makes you kind of root for it.
Yeah.
And then Columbus isn't that bad. So Ohio is not the worst Midwestern state.
No, it's not the worst. I mean, I
Pennsylvania's way
would put.
worse.
I mean, do you consider the Dakotas part of the Midwest,
I don't know. I've never been there.
or Nebraska and
I've
Kansas?
never been in Nebraska or Kansas.
Nebraska's like I stayed in Omaha overnight one night, but I got there just as everyone left at the end of the day
Yeah.
of the workday, so like the city was just empty.
Yeah. I think Ben Shapiro's sister lives in Nebraska, or she moved. She lived in Nebraska, which is kind of
Alexander
funny.
Payne is from Omaha.
Really? Hi, it's me, Abby Shapiro, and I just want to say that cover your titties up. You women need to stop dressing like sluts. Stop! You're making everybody horny. It's not acceptable. That'd be kind of fun. Well, that sounded like a joke.
No,
Anyway.
well, wait, wait. Is Abby Shapiro his wife?
His sister.
No,
his wife.
They look like.
His wife is a doctor who we're gonna turn into a slave once there's Medicare for all. We're gonna tie her to a fucking giant ball and make her do testicular cancer exams on people. I don't know what kind of doctor she is, but that is pretty. Yeah, she's gonna be a total slave. She's gonna be in a cage every night. And she's gonna be in a cage. She's gonna be in a cage that hangs from the ceiling, like in cartoons. And somebody will have to bust Ben Shapiro's wife out of jail. He said something about how like his wife had a paternity test. He said something about like, I know my kids are mine because my wife has had multiple paternity tests. That's so funny.
You don't think that's like really suspicious?
Right, like when do you give your wife the paternity test?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, do you give it like after she gives birth? Like how? I don't know.
I don't know. I think the paternity test is just like some handwritten scribbled note.
Yeah.
Just says you are the father.
You imagine Ben Shapiro on Maury. It's like Maury's like, Mr. Shapiro, we took a paternity test for your. You are not. Ben Shapiro just freaking out like one of those like white trash guys on the Maury show. This is bullshit. He's like, you boop. What's the matter with boop 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 boop? That the Old Testament. Boop. He just like starts yelling about the Old Testament. Boop boop boop.
I was just watching the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Running backstage. some producer consoling him. She's crying. Mr. Shapiro, you are not the father. Man, what a simpler, beautiful time. Is Maury even on TV anymore? I might just watch old Maury clips to alleviate my depression.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's all on YouTube, but is he still
banging Connie Chung?
He's still on.
Yeah.
Yes, he is still married to Connie Chung.
It was really funny when he would do like because it was such a simple show. It was like out of control teens, and then later they started doing fat babies, like they would do like 100-pound babies. And some of the babies had like a genetic disorder, but then some of them were just like overweight, and some of them just had moms that were like, "Yeah, I'll feed him all kinds of whatever he wants."
Oh yeah, I smoked crack every day when I was pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fat babies, out of control teens, and paternity tests.
Yeah,
and
I
what
just
else
feel
did they
like
have?
did America just get like, I don't know, did the stuff that made Maury great, did that just like get spread out across reality TV?
It might have gone away, and also it's weird that like our culture was a little more like polite. So you were able to have shows like that. It's like, hey, I called in sick to
it was
work.
kind of like
hey, I'm hungover. I didn't go to work. I'm gonna watch Maury today. It was like your little break.
Well, yeah, when you were sick and stayed home from school, you would watch Price is Right and Maury.
Yeah, but now and the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Yeah,
but now everything's such a fucking horror show that it's like I don't think Maury would do well in today's climate.
No, because that's like the norm now. That's how people actually deal with one another.
Well, I got to tell you, I saw a clip of that Sarah Cooper Netflix special today.
Uh-huh.
And it's really funny because it's just the clip that I saw. It was just her lip syncing with like a higher production value.
Oh.
It's just more it's just more lip syncing. Here's your $2 million.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Move your lips like the president. Yeah, I know. It's just like good for her, I guess. But it's also
just
kind of like
Mike. It feels so much like when we saw.
I'm not gonna hate on
Kevin
it, but
James.
yeah.
When we saw Kevin James, like he had that Comedy Central special, "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff," and then we got tickets to see him live, and he just did the same routine.
There was some new material, but yeah, I did enjoy that show a lot, though.
Yeah, it was a good show because everyone was there to laugh. That's
Yeah.
the great thing about those shows when they're in concert halls and
He had some new material, but yeah, it was a lot of like just old stuff that you saw on his special.
yeah. So for Sarah Cooper to maybe the Netflix special's just showing that. Like, was it an ad for it?
But it's weird. It's like, okay, so now we have to watch an hour of her lip syncing and pretend it's good.
Oh wait, was it what you just watched a preview of it?
I watched like a clip of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the clip they're gonna lead with is the thing that makes her popular. The thing that I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt till I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a whole hour of it. Maybe it's just a bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I gotta run.
Okay.
But thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, Mike.
See you, Steve. All right, everybody. That was Steve Recine. Thanks for listening. Support us on Patreon if you can, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.